Larry and Eric here. Blue collar.
I got hair.
He's got hair. We are here with the Blue Collar Nation podcast with the tough guy here. Got his face beat up, pissed me off, socked him in the eye. Knuckle sandwich. Actually, Eric took a digger on his bike. He was riding and a bar got in his way, and
I look like Pete the dog from Little Rascals.
not a bar like a drinking bar,
No.
but like a bar across the ground. And
One minute I was riding, 1 minute my face was in the tar.
if you see some other pictures on Facebook, it was quite funny. Yeah, he looks like the dog out of Little Rascals. Many of you might not know Pete the dog and Real Little Rascals, but oh well.
You're having a good time.
Yep. It was quite entertaining when I saw him. We met there afterwards. He's like, hey, my face. So anyway, here we are. We got a special. Thanksgiving is coming up this weekend, and we're very excited to take a couple days off and chill out with the family.
It's our first episode where we're actually videoing us.
Yes, and that's also wonderful.
Totally weird because Larry and I usually sit on the opposite side of the table. So
And we look way better on video, or some of us do at least.
I look better on audio.
It's a face for audio. I know, I'm thinking the hat looks, I think the contrast behind me, the hat looks good.
Yeah, keep the hat. The hat's very you.
The hat looks good. I wear the hat to all our events, and it's created a little bit of a thing. All right, you want me to move on? Are you going to be the host, or am I going to be the host?
You're the host, but you're dragging on and on.
Anyway, we're very thankful for many things. We're running a Thanksgiving theme here. Very thankful. And Eric's dying to tell you what he's thankful for, and let him go first, and then I'll explain what I'm thankful for. Think of us at the dinner table.
Welcome to our lifetime dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to do our sponsorship that we do every week. Can I do that?
Oh, yes, of course. We're not going to do that previous, so go ahead.
We're going to do it live. We're going to fight live. This week's episode of the podcast is brought to you by MorningTechMeeting.com. And Morning Tech, dude, don't interrupt me this week, all right? I'm just going to... MorningTechMeeting.com. He always interrupts me.
Nervous.
MorningTechMeeting.com is just a series of videos that we give to blue-collar owners, just like
amazing blue-collar videos from the Tech Whisperer. Shining Tech Whisperer.
Yeah, the first thing we're going to digress for a second. So the first thing I called Larry after I face planted, I said, yeah, I just face planted on the road. And he says, dude, you can't do that. We got videos to shoot.
Videos to shoot. Can't be a bruised Tech Whisperer.
Luckily, I'd shot 3 weeks, 2 days earlier, so I should be okay by the
bulk
time.
does them in batches.
Yeah. So anyway, but what we do is we do a 6 to 8 minute video every day talking about the soft skills of training technicians. And look, the reality is you guys already train your technicians on the technical stuff, or they're going out with a more experienced tech and getting those skills. But those skills aren't what really grow your business. That's what customers just figure that you can do anyway. What separates the companies that are really winning from the companies that are just mediocre or worse is that their technicians communicate well with clients, know where to park their trucks, know to keep the trucks clean, they keep the work area clean, they communicate well, they know how to do add-on sales in an honest, ethical, and comfortable way for the client. And, those things give huge benefits not only to the client, but to the owner, because the owner all of a sudden has more engaged technicians so they don't run around putting fires out all day. That's the value, don't you think?
You get the repeat business, the referrals, the reviews, the 3 R's, big deal. And that's what makes your technicians 10 times better, and they can take care of the business. They're more empowered, they're more confident, they're more capable. Yeah. And you don't have to put out fires all day long. You can work on your business.
Yeah. That's how you
Imagine that. It's a wonderful thing.
Well, that's what you started your business for in the first place. So
anyway, we got to that point.
Go to our website, morningtechmeeting.com, and sign up.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
It's a beautiful thing.
Hey, man, if it's our podcast, we're plugging. So, anyway, what do we got going on this week, Larry?
We want to know what we're thankful for. We're going to tell everybody what we are thankful for. And we're going to start out with...
me?
Me.
All right. I just want to digress. Larry and I always, shit on each other all day, every day, because it's fun. But I do want to say, and don't let this go to your head, I am very thankful for Larry. Larry and I have been friends since he was 17 and I was 18. So we've been basically doing this for 33 years.
That's your bad shoulder.
Why are you hitting me? I'm trying to say something nice about you.
I appreciate it. It was a gentle.
So, yeah, Larry has been with me through thick and thin. We've been through kid problems, divorces, business issues, good times, bad times. I bailed you out of jail.
That was a good thing. If I was still in jail, that would be bad.
Yeah. And you've done countless things for me, so I'm thankful for you.
Thank you very much.
I'll probably, just so you know, I'll probably never say this in
You'll
public.
rescind it.
I'll never say this in public again, so just enjoy the moment.
Wash over me. I just got tech whispered.
All right, well, that's what I'm thankful for this year.
Okay, cool. No, I'm thankful for this. Thankful that we were able to, Eric was able to train our techs up and sell the business. Granted, it was a little over a year, but it was practically just about a year ago.
It's kind of this year-ish.
Yeah. And we got an opportunity to do what we're doing now with the Morning Tech Meeting, this Blue Collar Nation podcast, and switching gears a little bit. And it's been extremely rewarding and educational, and it's a nice new challenge.
It's all new territory, so we're having to learn all new skills, which is fun, It's at least for me,
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, one of the things we want to do is Larry and I are both readers. We believe that to be better and constantly improve at anything, you need to read. So I thought what we would do is each do like 3 books that we're thankful for that we read this year. The book may not be from this year, but we read it this year, and we'll go through those, and hopefully that gives you guys maybe a little bit about a book that you haven't read that you could benefit from. So, Larry, why don't you lead off with the book you're reading?
Because I am a high I, if you know DISC at all.
Which means he has no detail orientation and doesn't like rules.
But I'm a fun guy.
You are.
And I get out there and I make shit happen.
That is true.
I need checklists. So I'm reading the Checklist Manifesto by, do you know how to pronounce that?
Atul Gawande.
Very cool book. It was referred by many people. I'm reading it right now.
Let's get that a little closer to the camera.
And checklists are easier to follow than gigantic processes and procedures. So I have checklists all the time. So this was suggested.
Well, it takes the thinking out too. Like when you're out, that allows you to be more creative when you're out marketing, don't you think? Because all you have to do, the system's already there, so you don't have to think about that. So you get to think more about the person that you're dealing with.
Exactly. And when you're out marketing and selling and communicating, it's not much about myself. It's about them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out more about them so I can engage with them and see how it can be of value.
And then it's nice for us back at the office because you just hand in the checklist and we know exactly what was done and what wasn't done so we can track. So it's winning both sides.
Yep, absolutely. So also on the next, Mr. Grant Cardone. He is the epitome of action and making things happen. Get out of the way. I'm going to tell everybody what I'm all about so I can help you. And he's a little rough, but we are fans, and we've been to his show.
We went to 10X conference 2 years ago, and it was really good. Andy Frisella,
great book.
Ed Milet was there. The best thing that I've read 10X, and I've also read Be Obsessed or Be Average.
I got that right over there.
And the best part of Cardone is that he gets you to understand that where attention goes, money flows. So if you're trying to grow a business, you have to get known, either good or bad. It almost doesn't matter in a way. You just have to get, like when he first started on Facebook, he would post like dozen times a day on Instagram. I don't know if he's still doing the same amount, but
didn't he do that post? He was taking a leak in the bathroom at the urinal.
Did a post from the urinal.
Classic. I wish I thought of that.
I was going to say, you'd freaking
wish
do that.
I thought of that. That'd be great.
But, yeah, Cardone is kind of not for everybody because his style's so abrasive, but at the same time, he kind of should be for everybody because if you want to grow, you kind of have to follow his advice.
A lot of his advice, whether abrasive or not, is very helpful. And it gets the mind going. You think of different things you do in your own style because it's motivating and it's inspiring. So it was very cool.
Right. What's your third one?
Never Eat Alone. Wonderful book. Keith Ferrazzi. This is an oldie but a goodie. You got to get out there. You got to meet people. Have a meal with them. Have a drink with them. Break bread with them. Every time we had a presentation.
Can I tell a story of your drinking night?
Yes. After I'm done. Okay. He's always interrupting me. Anytime you have a presentation, you're with people. You bring food. You don't bring it for them. You got to eat too. You got to share. Go out. You invite them to beers. Buy a couple people beers. Communicate with them. If you don't drink water. Go out and just communicate with people. Starbucks. Communicate with people. Invite people out. Everybody has to eat. Everybody's going to have a meal. You might as well sit with somebody and share over a meal.
Don't pound
Stop
the table.
banging on the table because you guys will hear a lot of noise. Anyway, drinking night.
Yeah, so Larry came to me 3 years ago, maybe and said, maybe 4 years ago, and said, "Hey, man, I want to do this thing called drinking night, where I go every Wednesday night to a different brewery, and I invite all of our clients, potential referral sources, current referral sources,
fun ones, too,
and
mostly."
I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care as long as I don't have to go." And so you started doing it. And, me back at the office, I'm like Mr. Results number cruncher guy. So every week I'd see this bill for $50-$60 in beers. And I started having the girls,
more,
$100, whatever. I'd have the girls tracking, well, how much are we getting from this? And we had zero return that we could tell, right, at first. So I kept going to Larry saying, "Look, this thing's bullshit. I know you're having a good time, but you need to take that time and energy and put it somewhere where we can get a return." And he kept fighting me on it, saying, no, this is working, yada, yada, yada. So, it wasn't a bone of contention. I just thought it was a waste of time and resource. But then I started going and visiting people, and they would say, because Larry would send a text out, like a mass text every Wednesday afternoon saying where he was going to be, what time, and why don't you come.
Email too.
And an email. And people started saying, "Hey man, one of these days I'm going to make the Wednesday night drinking night." And at first I'm like, what are you talking about? And I realized you're talking about Larry's thing. So even though only a very tiny percentage of the people ever actually go, they're invited to come every week. And Larry got our name out in front of these people in a way that they actually would, read our name and know what's going on with us.
And they felt like they were being invited because they were being invited. I only put people on the list that I want to hang out with.
So in reality, the value of that, once I learned that, then it was still almost impossible to track. But you were getting a lot of business from people indirectly just from your drinking night. So that goes along a lot with Never Eat Alone.
It's a lot of other people that went, other businesses that were there gained.
Well, yeah, it turned into almost like a mini chamber of commerce for people who didn't want to necessarily go to a chamber meeting, because a lot of people were doing business with each other out of that. So all of a sudden you're the connector. You're the hub of that wheel, which bode well for our business.
Yeah.
It was boding well for our business.
It's still going on. We were there Wednesday night. We were at Rescue Brewing in Upland, California. We had a good time. So if anybody wants to be on the drinking list, send me an email. I'll put you on the list. And every Wednesday night.
Man, if you want to fly in, the Ontario airport's about 5 miles from every bar in town. So
check it out. I liked breweries. I never went out to drink because I was working all the time. I was with my family or I was working. And these breweries that are really cool out of the backup garages and these stand-up industrial areas. And we went to a couple of them and met people. And we met somebody for a drink every 6 months. I'm like, we need to do this more often. Kind of like golfing or something like that. You have to build something you like into your lifestyle. So for the first couple times, you get 2 or 3 people showing up. The other night we had 15, 20 people hanging out. And it was cool. It was fun. These are people I look forward to seeing. Nobody gets hammered or anything like that. We only have 1 or 2 beers.
It's a meeting.
Yeah,
it's really what
we just hang out. We have a good time. It's like a chamber meeting where you invite the people you like from the chamber only, and it's not salesy.
No.
We have a good time. So if anybody wants to mimic this,
You remember when you did the surprise birthday party for me when I
yes,
turned
your
50?
50th. There was a lot of people there.
There were a lot of people there.
30 people showed up.
I'm
You
not-
did nothing to
I'm
it.
not. I'm A, not a surprise person. B, I don't like birthdays. And C, I don't know. I think I was supposed to go riding that night, and you coerced me into going. Is that your phone or mine? And but I did. That was really nice. And there were like 40 plus people there, which
Yeah.
was really cool. So, see, thank you.
Bada bing.
Yeah, that was
Again,
good.
some more thankful.
It's all about Larry today. All right, do I get to do my 3?
You do.
All right. So, first book, Blue's the New White,
Josh.
Josh Zolan. He'll be coming up on the podcast pretty soon. Josh owns Windy City Equipment in Phoenix, and now they're in
Good guy.
Houston. Great guy. Blue is the New White is all about that you can use blue collar as a career if you're a young person and make great money, and that not enough young people are going into the trades. Everybody listening to this, we're all in the same world. We're all struggling with that. And Josh is kind of at the forefront of this movement of trying to get young people to understand that blue collar trades, highly skilled trades, can be a really good career. So in that book, he actually breaks down like what you'd spend on 4-year college and what you probably get when you graduate versus going to like a 2-year trade school versus going straight into the workforce and being like an apprentice. And he does out all the math. And I really think that this book should probably be read by every single high school student that doesn't know exactly what they want to do with their life. I think it would, if this was mandatory reading for high school kids, I think we would
A lot of
have
people in the trades doing a good
a
job.
really good start, because I think the media portrays those jobs as less. And I mean, we know from our own business, a lot of young guys who just come right out of high school can make a lot of money and really do a lot of great work. So anyway, Josh's book's great. And the next one is Howard Partridge, who's our mentor.
Howard!
It's called The Power Community. He actually wrote this a couple of years ago, and I don't know what happened. Time got away from me. I didn't read it. There's also, he has a TED Talk that you can find on YouTube about this book, Power of Community. But basically, Howard talks about that every person has a longing for belonging, that they want to feel like they're part of something. So it's our job, it's the same thing with those young kids we were just talking about. You have to create a culture where they want to come to work. You have to create a team and a caring environment. And in our world, that's not always happening. A lot of places, let's get real, the owner's an asshole. And they're treating people poorly.
Not us.
Well, we've been.
We might have been. Maybe
been
him. Not me.
Been assholes. And we had to learn how to lead better, because especially younger generations, their parents might not have been quite as hard on them as ours were. My parents are actually older than Larry's. My parents are from the greatest generation. That was no bullshit. And yours weren't either. So we carried that on, but when you get to millennials and Generation Z, that approach doesn't work well, so we had to adapt.
No, definitely when in the working world,
So-
they don't want to put up with it. And
And a lot of people don't know how to make the change. So Power Community
bada
will
bing.
change your mindset about a lot of those things, about how to build a great work culture. And then this book is the most important book that I read all year. I just read it last week. It's by Thomas Blackwell. He will be on the podcast too. It's called The Liberty of Our Language Revealed. And basically the premise of this book is that the self-talk that we give to ourselves, either negative or positive, basically manifests itself because our brain doesn't have the ability to figure out whatever message is coming into it, whether it's good or bad. So if we're feeding ourselves with negative thoughts or negative talk,
words.
then we're just going to manifest that, because our brain can't decide. Our brain just follows whatever it's being told to do. So This book was in the form of a fiction book, which made it more readable. I actually read it in 2 sittings, and realized that I have a lot of negative talk that I've had to. I'm working on overcoming. So yeah, this was the most important book I read all year for myself.
Yeah.
It
We
really,
saw Thomas.
it really applied.
We saw Thomas at a seminar, and we bought a whole bunch of his books because we knew the book was going to be good, and we've been giving it out to different friends and associates.
Yeah, and then he was on the podcast, and he was
on
great,
the podcast. It was wonderful. So we totally enjoy Thomas Blackwell's information.
So those are our books for the year that
Good
we're
books.
thankful for.
Check them out. If you want any more information, let us know. Send us an email. So what else we got?
Let's talk about goals, you and I. Because now's when everybody should be trying to at least put a rough list together for the goals that they have for the next year. You know, you don't want to be doing that on January 2nd. It's too late. You need to start getting it in your head now what you want to accomplish. And if you're not where you want to be in any area of your life, you should take the next 30 days to really pin that down. So Larry and I have both done that. So we're going to talk about those a little bit. Do you want to lead off, or do you want me to lead off?
So, no, I'll lead off. And I've gone through the basics, but Darren Hardy and Zig Ziglar have a system of coming up with their goals, which I need to go through.
You mean
more.
like best year ever? Darren Hardy?
Yeah. And Zig Ziglar has a different system to come up with it that we did with Howard.
Yeah. Born to win,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. And anyway, I'm going to do those, but off the top of my head, because we were talking about this yesterday, there's a leadership course. Eric went through John Maxwell, which is pretty cool, but there's other leadership courses. My girlfriend went through one with Shanda Sumter, sponsored it from Hardcore, and she really got a lot out of it. So
You going to do that this year?
I think I'm going to do that this year.
Good.
That would be cool. And
That's
that would
great.
help me in my relationship as well, which is important. And then we just got invited to go to Germany to bike this year. And
Cycling.
cycling,
Road cycling.
bicycles. I won't crash.
Yeah. You don't ride far enough to crash.
So I have this reputation of taking short psychological rides instead of long physically demanding rides.
I think that proved its point when you got dropped 5 times the other day.
Oh my gosh. So hurting. It's embarrassing.
All right.
So anyway, I've got to figure out a way of getting in much better shape to hang with these guys in Germany.
Well, can we suss that out a little bit? All right. So here's the deal. Larry rides, and Larry's a really good rider. The problem is that much like because you're high I, you do a little bit of everything, but not a lot of any one thing. Whereas all the guys that are going to Germany, including myself, we kind of do one thing and then we pour everything into that one thing. So what Larry's going to have to do to reach his goal is to actually follow a training plan, which is kind of like this checklist book that you have, right? So you're going to have to get your head around that, man.
And we're good with it.
I'll draw you up a plan.
I'm sure you will.
I'll hold you accountable.
I'm sure you will.
Well, let me jump in then.
Hang on, I got one
hold
more.
on, but my first one has something
Similar?
exactly to do
Okay.
with yours.
Right
So, for me, for the Germany trip, all weight in cycling due to your power meter is done in kilograms because you want to reach a certain power per kilogram, watts per kilogram. Okay, this is where Eric and his detail orientation comes in. So I have a goal for my watts per kilogram. So I'm currently 113 kilograms right now.
How much is that in weight?
That's 251 pounds of pure muscle.
Solid.
And I want to get to 99 kilograms by June.
Which is?
217 pounds. So that's 13. There's 2.2 pounds.
Are you talking in kilograms?
Because all of the power meter and all that, everything's done in kilograms.
Oh, okay, I see.
So I want to get, 13 times 2.2 is, you're the math guy.
26, 27, 28, 28.
Yeah, it's
28-ish.
28-ish pounds. So That's my first goal. That's my physical goal.
Why are these meters? Are they only made in Europe or something?
Everything in cycling is done in metric system. All
Really?
the bike parts are in metric system. All the calculations are in metric. I love it. It's easier.
I just fix them. I don't.
You fix them?
I take care of my bike.
Yeah, you pump the tires up?
100 pounds. Pounds is
Yeah, that's true.
100 pounds of pressure. That's not metric.
Well, if you read the side of the tire, it'll also tell you in bars.
Yeah, I know.
So, all right, your next one.
Connecting with influencers in our fields. So, for example, we're working primarily in the blue collar market, blue collar owners, and there's many other people that are marketers, that are numbers coaches, that are influencers in basic business skills. We, and Morning Take Meeting, Eric and I focus on the tech whispering to the technicians, growing the technicians.
Soft skills.
Soft skills. And there's many other people in the industry that I would like to connect with, become affiliates with, share business back and forth. We can help each other's clients.
I need to
help each other.
turn to face you because every time I do this, I look like an idiot.
Dude, it's right. Does he look like an idiot all the time? I guess you never know because you never see him.
Yeah.
You don't look like an idiot. It's Thomas's book. Where's Thomas when you need him?
Oh,
See?
See, I just did it. All right. I look great. See how that changed?
He does. All right. So anyway, yeah, connecting with the affiliates, and I got to come up with a plan, a solid plan.
So do you have some names, or you already got a list of people you're connecting with?
Got Howard,
Al Levy,
Ellen,
Roar,
or we got to find a marketer.
Josh Zolan, Tersh Blissett, Service Mastery podcast.
Yes. I mean, there's a
Maybe
lot
whole
of
bunch.
guys out there that we.
A bunch more too.
But there's a lot of guys in other fields, like what's his name in Chino? Fit Body Boot Camp.
Baders Coolian.
Bedros. We've seen Bedros before with Joe Polish. Joe Polish is another guy I'd like to connect with. Bedros, we met at an event. And all these people have different things to offer, so I want to be able to,
Yeah. All right.
connect.
My next.
Go ahead.
I set a goal for 2,000 companies using Morning Tech Meeting by the end of the year. We just started 2 months ago, so obviously we're ramping up. But I think that's totally doable. And if we could help 2,000 companies be better, I feel like we're doing a good job.
That'd be great. We can do that.
What's your next goal?
That's it. That's 3 of them.
That's 3? Well, I only did 2.
Leadership, biking, connections. You
No.
told me 3. I'm organized and accountable.
Apparently. Yeah, my next one is to do more public speaking. I really want to get the word out of how great the blue collar trades are. I want to join Josh Zolan on this kind of journey of, it's been great for us, and I think so many kids are, going to college when they have no idea what they want to do. So I want to get out there and see the public and spread the word.
We need to hook up with Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. He looks like a lot of fun.
You and I need a reality TV show on DIY Network. Dude, why do you keep freaking hitting my shoulder? It's like practically broken.
I held back.
Yeah. Can you imagine a reality? Can you imagine us? Like, it could be like a Big Brother thing where they lock Larry and I in the same house. That would be
beat the crap out of each other.
A shit show, dude. Holy crap. That'd be fun.
All right on. So that's your goals?
Yep.
What's number 3?
Nah, skip
We've got a
3.
plan. We're skipping 3?
Skip 3.
We don't want to ask people what they're going to change? They can't really answer us.
Look, I kind of have like the Donald Trump notes that I just saw in the news, like the big words, because we can't read it otherwise.
So actually, that would be great. If listeners have any feedback, please send it in.
Yeah.
We'll throw it on a podcast. What's your plan for 2020? What would you change?
I mean, let's just talk about, let's do this. Let's talk about just how to get ready for 2020, because too many people don't plan the next year early enough in the year that they're in, and therefore they never get the change that they desire. Or they say, with all this weak language, back to this, I'm going to try, I might, I blah, blah, blah. Like, they don't actually say, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to set these 5 goals, and here's how these 5 goals are going to happen, and this is why, you need a why I'm going to do them. You know, because too many of us get so wrapped up in our blue-collar business, service business, which is super demanding. I mean, I'm not taking that away from anybody. Never worked harder in my life. But you don't really get the result that you really desire when you start the business because you don't take the time, even if you're still in it, working it on a truck, but you have to carve out some time to plan the next year so that you can actually get the business that you really want. Let's just go deep on that for a few minutes. I know we're at a half hour. Maybe you do 5 or 10 minutes on that, because I just see the same guys making the same mistakes and their business never changes. They're no different than the guy that's lifting weights, that goes to the gym, makes all his improvement in the first year, and then he's the same version of himself for 20 years. And it's like, dude, take up a new hobby or change what you're doing, because you're not getting any result other than maintenance. So how many guys do we know, that like, they freaking hate their business basically, but yet we can sit there and see, and it's always easier when you're outside of the business, of course, which is why we always hired a coach, for somebody to look in and say, you've got this problem, this problem, and this problem, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
But they never do that.
You know, the big thing that I took away from stepping away from the business and working on this business now, you just have to pick yourself up out of the business and see what's around you and see what's going well, what's not going well, and little things you can change.
Yeah. That's your new saying. Pick your head up.
Pick your head up.
Pick your head up.
And it's not a matter of changing things drastically, because that never works. You do the Darren Hardy, 1 degree of shift.
Yeah.
Just one little change.
Pick one thing to work on, and don't leave that until you've fixed it.
It's a habit, and it's part of yourself and your culture.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference. Once that's good, you move on to something else.
That's the other thing. Owners are people of action generally. So when they finally decide they're going to do action, they try to do too much, and then the staff can't handle it. It's way too much. Only implement one change at a time and get everybody so that they can do it without even having to think about it before you move on. And you know, that's painfully slow, but you have 52 weeks in a year. So think if you even made 3 big changes. So you basically had, 18 weeks per change to implement it. Can you imagine how different your business would be with 3 major changes in 1 year?
Yourself.
Because most businesses haven't had any changes in 15 years.
Yeah.
When you break the math down that way, it doesn't seem so daunting. It's like, I only need to implement one new thing in
every quarter,
18 weeks. Quarter. So, okay, you do 4 things a year.
Yep, every quarter. One thing. You change the directory a little bit.
Yeah.
And then changing it always for the better and what you want to make the change. Because how many times I say, I know, I really would love to do that with my business. There's like a laundry list of stuff.
Would love to. That's language that says, I'm not going to.
It just doesn't happen. How many years have you been saying those things? And we were guilty of it as well.
Yeah, of course.
And, just implement one thing.
However, to our own credit, we were implementers. Maybe sometimes we change too much too fast.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. We'd implement 5 things, and maybe one would stick 6 months later.
We didn't tend to sit in bad situations long without trying to fix them. And I think that's who I'm speaking to when I'm saying this, is that, you and I have friends that just, they complain. My guys suck. My business sucks. I don't have any time. I don't ever get to work out. This is bullshit. And finally, you just want to shake them and be like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? Like, I don't want to hear you anymore.
They get exhausted. I don't want to do anything. It's too much effort.
Yeah. Well, it's
they're worn down already.
Beat down. Yeah. But if they made one change, they'd probably start to feel better about their business.
1, small change. It's so much easier.
Well, and that starts, I think, from almost every blue-collar service business that I consult with. It starts first with the owner deciding to make a change. Second, the work starts with building a culture where everybody loves to come to work. And that could be a whole year, just that one thing. But when that's Howard's power of community. It's like when you've built the thing where these people are engaged, there aren't all these brush fires anymore. They actually want to come to do work, and they actually do good work because you're giving them an environment to do that good work in.
And a shameless plug, when you started giving the lessons. No, but when Eric started doing the lessons, it was making a difference every day. And we do it for a quarter, and this comes back to what I was saying a moment ago. We do it for a quarter, and we'll be working great, and things will be turning around. And then I would say, we don't need to do this anymore. We're good. So I'd push us away from it. I'll own it.
Well,
and then things would go down.
But let's dig a little deeper in that before you'd stop doing it because you didn't want to pay the money for the guys to sit there. And I would argue with you that, no, we're going to spend more money with screw-ups and yada, yada, yada. And you'd go, no, they've been listening to you for a certain amount of time. They know this already. But it is not how it works.
It's just a continuous...
So what would happen?
The morale,
yes.
The accidents would
so
continue.
Larry, I'd cave. We'd stop doing it. And then, they have to do it every day.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So, along what I was saying earlier, whatever you pick, you stick with and keep it in your culture forever. Because you don't want to do something and say, oh, yeah, that works well for a while, and we stop doing it. Why don't you keep doing it? So, of course, the Morning Tech meeting, we want to impress upon you that it will help your culture, and it's dramatically affordable investment at this point. So,
and team members crave stability. They want every day to be a certain way.
You want to be consistent.
Owners, why do you keep hammering the table today? Owners are good with change generally because they were through that startup phase and they had all kinds of change every day. So for them, it's no big deal. But that hurts their culture when they might be okay with every day being different, but the team isn't.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So whatever you choose, be consistent and don't overwhelm your team. We'd come back from Howard's conference or Joe's conference with all these ideas, and our guys would just get
every Monday.
slammed.
We'd be gone all week. Larry and I both. They'd be running the show for the week while we were out of town at Howard's conference or Joe's conference. We'd come back with these binders like this big, and we would literally every time for the first few times try to go, we're going to do all of this right now. And it got to the point where when we'd come back, they'd all have this look like, oh shit, these guys just went to Houston and this is going to be the worst. They're going to try to change everything in a week.
Everything's going to start changing again.
So we learned that you can only do one thing. So what we would do is we'd have a short list, 4 or 5 things, and we'd sit down with the managers and talk over which ones we needed to do the most.
Yeah.
And then once we did that, then I would go to the team in the morning meeting and say the managers, and we met, and we think these are the areas we need to work on, and then get buy-in from them too. That was way more comfortable for the team, don't you think?
Yep. Because they were engaged.
All right, you going to get me out of here pretty soon?
Nope. We're going to have we're talking about the Morning Tech meeting a lot, which we try and talk about the blue-collar service business as well, but it is our company, so there's a little bit of overlap. So we're going to have a final pitch, and then we're going to get Eric out of here. He's heading up to Utah. There's a huge snowstorm, and he doesn't have snow tires.
Well, I have them. They're not on the car.
Wrong tires, wrong state.
Well, half the time I'm in Southern California, and I just,
So anyway, our Black Friday pitch is
what kind of salesman are you?
Well, because we didn't really discuss it, actually.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, here's the deal.
Let's check it out.
You pay for a year. How much is a year? $240? So it's normally $240. That gets you 5 days a week, 52, they're like 260 videos a year with 52 quizzes. I mean, that's like
A lot.
a lot of content for $240. And the price will be going up in 2020, so now's the time. So what we're going to do for Black Friday is we'll give you, for $240, you'll get the whole year, then you'll get half a year in 2020, so January through whatever, end of June, for the same $240. So you'll get 6 months free.
Yeah, year and a half for the 240.
But you gotta buy by December. Hold on,
Is it Monday?
you gotta buy by December.
We got this pitch down.
Yeah. December 4th, Wednesday.
I'll write this
We'll give you a
down
couple
so we
extra
don't
days.
forget.
So, a year, 260 videos, 52 quizzes, $240. Then you get another 6 months free on top of that for Black Friday sale. And you need to buy by December 4th at 5 p.m. Pacific. I was making a point.
Okay. Give me some chalk. We got it right on the wall.
Oh.
We got our
Is this the
chalkboard
worst
wall.
podcast we've ever done?
No, this is by far the best. I got my yellow Crayola. December 4th.
There you
That's
go.
the day.
It's in stone.
It's on the chalkboard at least.
Yeah. All right.
So,
You guys have a happy Thanksgiving.
have a great Thanksgiving. Communicate with the people around you. Appreciate your things. Have some gratitude. And be thankful.
Yeah, and if you
So-
pick up those books, don't be afraid to go on social media and drop that you found them from us.
Yeah.
Because we know most of those guys. So
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We live in a great country. We have a lot to be thankful for. And we are out.
bada bing.